We're here today with one of Canada's most celebrated pianists. She's also an educator, a philanthropist. She's a member of the Order of Canada, the Order of Ontario, and the Royal Society of Canada, Christina Petrowska Quilico. Hi, Christina. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm really looking forward to working with the York Chamber Ensemble, especially to introduce the Florence Price Piano Concerto.
Yeah, so excited. So the concert's coming up March 25th, and such a great work. It'll be a premiere to the area. It's never been performed in the Toronto area either. In Canada, only once in Ontario, in Ottawa, last year, and then I think one other time out east and one out west, but never around this area. And yeah, we're very excited.
It's about time.
It is, isn't it?
Well, when I was teaching a course called Romantic Music, one of the things I did with the students is play excerpts of symphonies, and I would just say, these are symphonies, pick your favorite. And the answers they would give me, oh, that's Brahms, oh, that's Tchaikovsky. And I had picked all symphonies by women.
Oh.
But Florence Price was the winner. I asked which was the most their favorite, and of course it was the Florence Price First Symphony. She was an amazing composer, born in 1887, died in 1953. She performed her first piano recital at the age of 4 and started composing at the age of 11. She wrote, I think, around 300 works.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, such a talent, you know.
Yeah, and her father was the first African-American, or the only African-American dentist in Little Rock, and her mother was a teacher and taught Florence. And Florence's story, I mean, we don't have time to elaborate on it, but she was an amazing person.
Yeah.
She
first African American woman to have her music performed by a major symphony orchestra, you know.
Yeah, the first symphony won the Wanamaker Award, and she got first prize and third prize. And her friend Margaret Bonds, also an African American composer, got first prize in songs. And she eventually moved to Chicago, and they had a whole day of Florence Price music, and that was during the World's Fair there that they had, which is quite amazing. She studied at the New England Conservatory, and then she was married 3 times, had 2 daughters, and it was difficult to make money, so she was teaching. But the interesting thing is that in 2009, in an old summer house that she used to have, they discovered a whole lot of her scores.
Yeah.
And they're just now trying to get them published. Schirmer bought the rights to them so that we can all enjoy them.
I'm so glad that, I think it was a house that was under construction or going to be renovated. I'm glad that person didn't destroy those boxes filled with scores.
Oh.
But yeah, such an amazing thing. Before we were chatting about that you've played around 50 concertos.
Yes.
So have you ever performed the Florence Price?
No,
concerto?
it'll be the first time, and it's interesting. I've recorded 19, but as you're living your life, you tend not to count.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me to count, and I had to do it a couple of weeks ago, and I discovered, oh, well, no wonder my brain's a bit fuzzy from time to time. There's so many notes buzzing in my head.
I'm curious. You have a lot to compare with then. So I'm curious. Like, how does the Florence Price fit into this world of piano concerti?
Well, it was written in 1934. I mean, the Gershwin Rhapsody in Blue, right, is around the same time. And what was important, Tin Pan Alley, Ragtime. There was a woman, I've done a lot of all women's CDs, and Adeline Shepard wrote Wireless Rag before Scott Joplin, I think. But I've played it and people say, oh, that's Scott Joplin. Nope. So there's a resurgence of women's works that were hidden. But anyway, the concerto is virtuosic. There's a real kind of conversation between the orchestra or chamber ensemble and the piano. The opening is a bit reminiscent to The Emperor because there's a little orchestral introduction. Then you've got this long cadenza.
It's very romantic. Yeah.
And in her writing, like even in her symphonies, there's a lot of Dvorak.
Yeah, the spiritual,
yes.
the folk.
Brahms, Tchaikovsky. Mm-hmm. So anybody that is coming to the concert will have a treat for romantic virtuosity. But as she got older, began including spiritual music. She was educated in a convent, and then she became a committed Christian and liked gospel music, which was great. I love it, yeah. And so all of a sudden you've got this spiritual kind of folk tune in the middle of the second movement. The third movement, of course, is ragtime and the juba dance.
Yeah, but definitely a fun ending. Like she definitely gives what the audience wants, I believe. Yes. It's refreshing to hear a piece and perform a piece that's so engaging.
Yes, the syncopated rhythms. They're tricky, but they're fun. Yeah, no, it's important to have music like this that well entertained as well as being really very well written, and it's for the people.
Thank you again, Christina, for sitting down and chatting with me. Again, looking forward to March 25th, Florence Price Piano Concerto in one movement. Looking forward to it.
Me too.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.